So our first speaker this morning, I asked Meagan Moynagh from the PEI Federation of Agriculture to come and give us an update on the OFCAF program, the On-Farm Climate Action Fund. Meagan is a climate action specialist with the PEI Federation, currently administering the OFCAF fund. Meagan's a graduate of UNB and also the Holland College Wildlife Conservation Tech Program. And she just recently joined the PEI Institute of Agrologists as an agrologist in training. So I know many of you have interfaced with Meagan already through OFCAF applications or maybe some of the workshops that the federations run. So Meagan, come on up and we'll hear a little bit about what's going on with OFCAF. Clicker's there.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me here today. I'm just going to briefly talk about the past performance over the 3 years of the OFCAF program, and then some of the updates that I can share about the next 3 years of the OFCAF program. So we started administering the On-Farm Climate Action Fund program in 2022. Initially, it started off as a pilot program for 3 years, intending to end this year in 2024-2025 growing season. Over those past 3 years for the Federation, we administered, initially we were going to give out $6 million, but right now we're target to administer $9 million to island producers for projects. So the objective of the fund was to encourage the adoption of beneficial management practices on farm to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions from nitrogen fertilizer and to sequester more carbon on farm through practices like cover cropping and more intensive rotational grazing practices. So the three main ones that we cover funding for is the cover cropping, nitrogen management like enhanced efficiency fertilizers or alternative organic amendments, and advanced grazing management. So over the past 3 years, we've approved over 570 projects with around $9 million awarded. And in addition to that, we've provided knowledge transfer training events to island farmers across all counties to kind of help facilitate and properly implement these beneficial management practices. We've also provided 6 agronomist training events to help agronomists better equip themselves with skills to interact with farmers and better support them in adopting these practices. We have also provided a nutrient management training course. We provided the funds for people to take this course from Dalhousie and collaborated with UPEI to create a training course for agronomists. And we also provide a bursary to agronomists to seek other certifications and training that would help support farmers. So over the past 3 years, we broke down the total amount of money that was given for each BMP. So we, in total, have funded about $4 million in cover cropping with 63,000 acres covered over the island. Nitrogen management, we gave out about $2.7 million with 51 acres covered. And for advanced grazing, we gave out about $1.8 million with 7,000 acres covered for a total of about $8,900,000 and 122,000 acres covered. This is just a bit more of a breakdown of how the funding was distributed throughout the BMPs. You'll notice there's a fertilizer funding portion of the nitrogen management. That was just, it still supported nitrogen management projects, but it was a separate part of the funding that AAFC gave that supported higher fertilizer costs that were incurred in 2022. So the project requirements for OFCAF, they have to be significantly additional to what's previously been done on farm, so it has to be a new practice or new to those acres. The projects have to be supported by qualified CCAs, professional agrologists, or certified grazing mentors. And each of the 3 project categories have their own eligible expenses and matching requirements. I'm not going to go too much into the application process since we're not really starting that process until hopefully April. We don't have a launch date yet. We're waiting to officially sign an agreement with AAFC to administer the program for the next 3 years, so we don't have an official launch yet. When we do, we're going to be advertising that on our PEIFA website and on our social media, and reaching out to our past participants in PEIFA membership. So if you're interested in getting updates, you can contact me or the Federation to get put on that list. So the applications we're hoping to keep the same as we have the past 3 years. For the nitrogen management projects, there is an additional nitrogen management balance worksheet that has to be done with the application, just to kind of account for the nitrogen gains that are being made with the project. And with advanced grazing projects, the application does need a grazing plan to support the application, and we have people to help farmers actually create those plans. These are just a brief summary of some of the eligible activities. The big thing that's changed from the past 3 years of the OFCAF program and the 3 years that'll be will be continuing. Previously, each farm was eligible for $75,000 for the life of the program. For the next 3 years, they've upped that, so it's now going to be $100,000 per farm. So people who've already maxed out to the $75,000 will be able to apply for an additional $25,000 from starting 2025 to 2028. So for winter cover cropping per year, we cover a $75 flat rate for 500 acres per year, so $37,500 per year. For nitrogen management, you could do a project to the maximum of $100,000, and that could include activities like purchasing enhanced efficiency fertilizers, dual inhibitors, doing split applications of fertilizer for $15 per acre, or putting legumes in for permanent, longer perennial time for $75 per acre. We also cover the testing and mapping, but this is capped at $25,000 and has to be supported by another activity like split application or purchasing enhanced efficiency fertilizers. And then we also do cover 50% of the cost of some equipment purchases, and this is a maximum of $30,000, so 50% up to $30,000, and you have to be doing another activity that equipment supports. And most of the equipment that we cover is just fertilizer spreaders for banding, side dressing, and liquid application, and nothing else is considered under equipment. For advanced grazing, we cover projects up to $100,000, and this is 75% for fencing and pasture overseeding. We also do knowledge transfer events. We plan on hiring someone to do more extension services and do more knowledge transfer over the next 3 years. So look out for those workshops that will be happening over the next 3 years. And we will continue to provide agronomist bursaries and opportunities for training to help support agronomists in gaining more skills. If anyone has any questions or about the application process or wants to be put on the list to get updates, you can reach out to either myself or my colleague Rimsha, who also administers the program. You can give us a call at our office number or reach out through email. And applications are accepted at the OFCAF email, ofcaf@peifa.ca. Thank you.
Just before you go, Megan, does anybody have any questions for Megan? We have probably time for 1 or 2 questions. If you have a question, there's some couple of mics set up here, or yell really loud. Any questions? Okay, Megan, you're going to be here for a little while. If people want to talk to you, Megan?